So I am here at NAB with Levi Allen from Leftcoast Media. He's got a GH5, he's been shooting with it, and so we wanted to talk about the autofocusing issues, the pros, the cons, and all that's coming up in this video. Hey, what's up guys? Sean here with Think Media TV, and we're at NAB. I'm here with Levi Allen. How's it going?
It's going fantastic, man. This is my first time. It's a lot of fun.
Dude, it's awesome to have run into you. Now, if you've never heard of his channel, it is incredible. He's an adventure filmmaker, putting out a lot of cool content, and has recently started shooting with the GH5, and you recently talked about your vlogging with it. Now, there has been some, a lot of stuff about the autofocusing, but obviously it's also an incredible camera. So let's talk about what's been your experience so far.
My experience has been really positive. My favorite thing so far has actually been the stabilized sensor in combination with stabilized lenses. So that Dual I.S in this camera has been the best that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It gives it, especially when shooting with longer lenses. So for example, the 30 to 100 on a micro four thirds, that's about like a 70 to 200 on like a Canon APS-C sensor. And you can get like shoulder rig steady shots just holding it with your hands. So my favorite part of vlogging is not actually this stuff. It's not this stuff. It's actually the in-between shots when I'm getting B-roll of just fun things in my life. So it's made it genuinely fun again, just like get out and shoot.
That's pretty cool. So one of the huge pros, now that's something we really recommend everybody be looking for in their cameras. Sony's have that in-body image stabilization, and that means even if you have a lens that's not stabilized, you can start getting some steady shots when they're handheld. But what you've noticed is that it seems to be maybe one of the best systems out is the GH5 when it comes to that stabilization.
Yeah, it's really natural. Like when you look at the footage, it kind of looks like you're using a monopod or even a shoulder rig. It just has a really natural feel.
I love that. Now, what are some of the other things? Obviously, the flip screen is something that everybody wants, and a downside of some of the cameras that don't have it, especially for YouTubers, content creators. Right. But what are the other things you love about the GH5?
Yeah, so I was vlogging almost exclusively on the A6300, and so I was really used to kind of just like pointing and hoping. And so one thing that's really nice is the tilty swivelly screen, being able to like see what's actually in frame. So that's been huge for me to be able to make sure that the lighting's good. And I've done vlogs before with the A6300 where I'm like completely blacked out because there's a bright light source behind me, and my shot was like totally pointless. So I'm glad to no longer be doing that. Longer battery life is huge. I haven't changed my battery yet today, and I've been shooting all day. So that's like, when I'm shooting with Sony stuff, I got batteries in all my pockets. I'm constantly like looking and changing, and so that's been a huge upgrade for me. I really appreciate that.
I love that. So there's a lot of things. Obviously, the image coming out of the GH5 is insane. The fact that you get that in-body image stabilization, that can pair up with stabilized lenses too. You get in better, so many features, really intuitive design. And but let's talk about low light. Now, the sensor is a little bit smaller, obviously, than other sensors. What's been your low light observations?
Yeah, so the day I actually got my hands on one the first time, I threw on a Metabone Speed Booster, the Ultra, with a 35-1.4, and I was shooting in like a completely dark room just with TV light, and I was able to shoot my subjects just fine at like 3200 ISO, and that noise for me is acceptable. It's a good step improvement from the GH4. I think like 3200 on the GH5 is similar to what 1600 was on the GH4. So for me, that puts it in a range of usable in almost every scenario, especially if you have a faster lens. When you only have like 2.8 on a micro four thirds, you are going to be thirsty for light in some of the darker situations. But for me, a majority of what I'm doing is outdoors almost exclusively, but it can make do in almost every indoor situation, unless there's just no light. If there's no light, you're going to be hurting. That's where you're going to need like a low light monster, like maybe the A7S.
I love that. Now, let's break it down. If somebody was asking this year, they're like, I'm wanting to get a new camera, and there's so many good options. We were just talking ahead of time that really, for this year, the consensus is that there isn't one right camera for everybody. Right. It has more to do with what is it that you want? What are the considerations that you'd recommend? What are some of the top cameras you'd recommend, and why, if people are trying to make a decision about what camera they want to pick out? Right.
If it's a person's first camera, I recommend everyone start with their phone for starters. Just kind of see what their shooting style is, first of all. And then next to that, how much additional gear do you need around your camera to know if your image is correct? The Canon systems have been really popular among YouTubers for a very good reason. They've got great autofocus, you're getting a good natural color out of it, and they're pretty intuitive to use. For me, I kind of want some more advanced cinematic features. So I'm wanting that 4K a lot of the times now, and I'm wanting, better inbuilt features for professional video. So I love that in this setup, I have like a great YouTube system, but then I can also like go and shoot a film with it tomorrow, because it's got the vlog, it's got the upcoming, higher 400 megabit all intra codec. That stuff's kind of huge. And the EVF in this is like the best EVF I've ever seen. So that makes me really happy knowing that I just got to carry one system and a set of lenses. But it also comes down to, what systems have you invested in already? Because if you've invested in all Sony mount stuff, it's sometimes really challenging to sell your whole collection of lenses and buy at Micro Four Thirds. So there's kind of like those two camps going on, right? Or three, essentially, in the YouTube world. But if you're just starting out and you're wanting a system that you can trust and have like the best dual image stabilization, a really good 4K codec, so my first like full day vlogging with the A6300, I went out there and I know the A6500 has improved on this, but like overheating was a big deal. Not being able to tell if I was recording, that was a big deal. And I kind of had a hard time that first day with it. And I've improved my workflow. But for me, I really trust the GH series of cameras that when I hit record and turn it towards myself, I know it's gonna like work. And there has been some autofocus hiccups. It's not as flawless as some of the A7R2 or the A6500, A6300. So that is a bit of a drawback because you're using a contrast-based system. But for me, because you can see the image, I don't mind. I just make sure the box is on my face, and then we go with it. I don't do much like walking to camera stuff. I'm like, the most frequent thing that I'm using autofocus for actually is when I'm just framing up a shot. I'll put the box over the area of the frame or just move my frame over, half press to autofocus on that, switch it back to manual, and then do my shot and move on with my life. So that's what I mostly do, even with cameras that have autofocus. So for me, the autofocus hasn't been an issue for me once I just learned its limitations, and then we just go from there.
I love that. And probably from my perspective, I would totally agree. If you're picking out a camera this year, you want to reverse engineer what you need and your budget. If you're really kind of just starting out, start with your phone. It's much more affordable to get Canon. If some of the early Canons, you can get a lot. But then if you do want some 4K, you want some in-body image stabilization, you want some other features, Sony could be in those low 1000s. But then you're diving in $2,000 just for the body, right? And then you got to potentially get some lenses on top of that. So certainly considering all the factors, unfortunately, there isn't one right answer, right?
No.
So
yeah, if there was a right answer, everyone would know it.
Yeah, that's true. And so there's so many different brands putting out a lot of quality products. And so it's been cool learning about the GH5 from you a little bit. Yeah. Definitely, we'll link up to your stuff so that you can even see some examples of what some vlogs look like in your style. Now, I really love and respect your style. I actually discovered you because of research, searching the GH5. Yeah. But where's all your stuff and what are some of the projects you have going right now that people should check out?
Yeah, I call my company Leftcoast Media House. So you can find my YouTube channel, Leftcoast. I'm on Instagram at Levi on, and I'm kind of posting there pretty regularly, hoping to add some value to people. And I'm currently working on a slacklining web series. So guys that slackline in between cliffs up in the mountains. I like the extreme sports stuff, so that's what I've been spending a lot of time on.
That's awesome. Well, can you sum it up, just like one final word for people that are creators, right? Video influencers are watching this, creators, just to like really get out there and share their creativity and their message, their art with the world.
Yeah, it's always content. So, I mean, you can make anything interesting with whatever you're capturing it with. And it's so empowering to make stuff with what you have already and like try to get people interested in that. When you get into this mind trap that you need to upgrade your gear to make something interesting, it's just a never ending like rabbit hole of like gear researching. But the gear does become interesting once you've like started making things. But I just push people to start making something and see if they've get a craving for it.
Question of the day. Are you thinking about upgrading your camera this year? And what are you looking at? Are you looking at Canon, Sony, Panasonic, something else? Let me know in the comments section below. So thanks so much for checking out this video. Click here to subscribe for more content and coverage from NAB and to see all of our videos in the full playlist. You can click here or we'll link up the playlist in the description. Until next time, Think Media TV is helping you go further, faster in media. Keep crushing it, and we will talk soon.